like who the intangibles favor?
Yeah, like, you know, like, is there anything we missed that we can just lump
The one thing we gotta, like y'all keep saying, and y'all right, like I can't deny this fact. Like I'm picking Pacquiao to win. I would pick him regardless. But one thing we cannot rule out is the weight of this fight. You know what I always say, y'all? If you can make welterweight, you would be fighting at welterweight. If you're fighting at junior middleweight, normally you can't make welterweight. And the fact that they're bringing him back towards welterweight at 150 pounds, I mean, these guys have been dead on, like, far as, like, pinpointing these weight classes. And I just think this 150 pounds, I don't know how much of an effect it's going to have on Margarito. I mean, I got my opinions, and I said it from the rip about Margarito being all ripped up like this. To me, it looks like he's overtraining. I mean, he was ripped up like this a long time ago, like when training camp first started. So I got up, and that's one of the reasons I'm picking knockout too, just to re-clarify. I just think that he's draining himself to make this 150 pounds. He's ripped to shreds, and I think it's going to show later in this fight, and that's why I'm picking Pacquiao by knockout. So to answer your question again, don't sleep on this 150 pounds. Y'all even call him the mastermind behind matchmaking. He's also the master behind setting up weight.
Right, and that's where my intangibles really go to. Just
calm down, Pacquiao fans. I'm not taking anything away. I'm just putting it out there. A question was asked, and I just answered it.
Right, and you know what? I think that's a logical question. Now, here's the other thing. Now, BJ, you want to go? I know Coltrane is giving us his picks, and he was really adamant about Pacquiao winning. You're picking Margarito. You're on the other side of the fence. You're picking Margarito. In summary, why are you picking Margarito so the fans can know, so they can have some type of logical basis if they're trying to find a reason for Margarito to win?
One, I say Pac-Man has to do more and Margarito has to do less. One, Pac-Man, I'm not doing this off of spite or anything. I don't want people to think it that way. This is off of homework because Pac-Man does three things wrong. He goes back in a straight line, first off, which you don't want to do ever in boxing, but he's been able to get away with it with the fighters he's fought. And number two is when he's backed up, he has a tendency just to put his hands up and not fight back. So basically, if Margarito gets him to the ropes, it's basically a wrap. And I forgot what the third one was. No, basically the third one is basically the pressure. He never had nobody fighting him and throwing this many punches. And most people say, oh, he's going to give him angles and this and that. But in the same sense, you never had nobody giving you pressure and punching down on you instead of somebody at the same height basically at you. This is his biggest person he ever fought, and he's basically punching down on him.
All right, it's funny. I'm going to jump in for a second. One of the things that, I was looking at when this fight was first made, I gave you an analogy of how in Philadelphia sometimes, the step buses are notoriously, and probably in any public transportation, they're notoriously late. And one of the things you remember is when you're chasing after a bus and it's raining, man, it's like, it's just a million drops coming, man. You get so damp and wet up before you get on a darn bus. And that's what I compared this fight to. Obviously, I don't know where Margarito's mental state is. I think Freddie, man, is an opportunist. I think he's a good trainer, but I think he's an opportunist as well. I mean, which we all are in a sense, but I think he's a huge opportunist. But nevertheless, I don't know what Margarito we're going to get. But I do know that regardless of what Margarito we're going to get, boxing is never about getting hit. It's never been his style to get hit in boxing. And I think that Margarito gets hit too much. I think Manny Pacquiao was too fast. And just the simple fact that you guys both reminded me that Pacquiao has power in both hands, I don't care if Pacquiao was 5'2". After a while, man, 11 rounds, 10 rounds, that stuff is going to take its toll. I do believe that Pacquiao's going to win. I don't know how he's going to win. But I hope to see that we have a game Margarito, Margarito that's not affected by the ghost of, what happened in the past. And I hope we get a Margarito that's game and not one that Freddie looked at and say, hey, you know what? This guy's right for the taking.
He hasn't fought. He hasn't fought in almost 2 years. He fought some scamp, and this got nothing to do with it. Again, I still would pick Pacquiao regardless. But I'm just saying the setup is kind of all perfect. You don't go from fighting almost to 2 years to fighting the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world if it's not named Floyd Mayweather or Manny Pacquiao. And you put a guy in the ring, there's going to be rust there, definitely, because he just hasn't been fighting. It's just a different type of situation when you're training and you're fighting a tomato can on your first comeback fight. I just think that it's the perfect setup for Pacquiao to look like King Kong once again in this fight. I just think it's the perfect ideal situation. You know, from the weight, the layoff, you know, the way Margarito fights. You know, I just think it's ideally in Pacquiao's favor. We'll
Let me ask you a question. If this fight, if Shane would have, just like this, Shane Mosley, would you have picked Manny Pacquiao to beat Antonio Margarito? The Manny Pacquiao that fought Miguel Cotto in July 2 years ago, would you have picked Manny Pacquiao to beat him?
No, I'm gonna say no, but I'm a couch my no, and had I known everything about see, at that point, to answer your question, at that point, if I would have said no, because I wouldn't have had enough evidence on Manny Pacquiao, because that was pre him moving up and looking as strong as he did. So I would have said no, he's too big for Manny Pacquiao. Pacquiao won't be able to hurt him, and he'll eventually get worn down and worked down. But once we were able to see Pacquiao walk through Cotto, shut out Joshua Clottey, you know, these are guys that people thought would, give him some trouble. I mean, nobody envisioned, you, BJ, we all sat there and watched that fight together, and we were all amazed how easily, I mean, the first knockdown, we all pretty much missed it because it happened so damn fast. I mean, so it's a yes and a no, ride or die. I mean, knowing what I know now, I don't know if I would have said no. But if I didn't know what I know now, I would have said no. But it's a tough question, is what I'm saying. It's tough. But I hear what you're saying. It's tough, though.
No, but you asked the Manny Pacquiao that fought Cotto against basically the Margarito that fought Cotto. Would you have picked him? And ain't no way in hell I'm picking Pac-Man over Margarito after the way he demolished.
That's why I'm saying I would have said no then. Like, I would have just said no flat out. Like, that's it. But had all the events that had happened up to that point, it would have been a no. It would have been like, but I don't know. Like, but right then and there, just to answer for the sake of the question, yeah, I would have said no. I'm like, no, he can't beat him.
Yeah,
no. I was having questions about Floyd beating that Margarito that walked down Cotto like he did.
Rod, that's the power of pressure. It's kind of like Glenn Johnson. He take a lot of hits. Kind of like Joe Frazier. He take a lot of hits, but all he got to do is keep touch you, and sooner or later, that one punch will sit there and drop you right where you stand at, and it's over.
Now, what I will say, what Margarito can do, Radada, just to kind of fair balance it, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm picking Pacquiao with a certainty, but I know how Margarito gets down. He threw 9 punches, 7 of them going to be missed, and 2 of them might graze you. But that's all he needs to kind of get into he's a rhythm type of fighter. It sounds crazy, but he is. You know, he misses a lot early on, but he continues to grind, like BJ said, grind, and work, and it eventually starts to pay dividends for you, and it puts wear and tears on fight, because most fighters, unless your name is Floyd Mayweather or, I believe, Manny Pacquiao, aren't conditioned to move around like that from that type of pressure. Paul was able to do it from the pocket because of the length he got. Clottey was able to do it because he sat right in front of him and kind of just played, he got that defensive shell where he was able to absorb a lot of that stuff. But Pacquiao, I think, can do it because I think physically he's in shape to move around. That was the main reason why I didn't pick Cotto. I just didn't think he had the physical abilities to roller skate all night, because you got to be able to move against this dude if you're little. You know what I'm saying? Now, if Pacquiao runs out of gas, then I'm with B. If he gets a little bit tired in this fight, then Houston, we got a problem. Even though
all right, let me ask you a question. ask both of you guys a question. So again, you know, we're gonna always play this segment on big fights when we do the radio show, just the advantages and disadvantages. So if again someone were to come out of space, you never saw a fight before, and they said, okay, if I need in a nutshell to watch one fight of Manny Pacquiao that shows me, you know, besides the Marquez fight per se, you know, it shows me, okay, how he could beat somebody like Margarito, and I were to watch a fight on Margarito behalf that shows me what he's going to do to Manny Pacquiao, what would those fights be, in both of you guys' opinion?
One, I can't show you one Manny Pacquiao beating somebody like Margarito. For Margarito, I would say go look at Cotto fight.
I can't say either one because I don't think neither one of them has fought anybody like neither one of them. Like I just think that it's just everybody's different that they has fought. Like even Shane, he's totally different from Pacquiao. Like Shane bullied Margarito. He bullied him literally.
Right.
He has like Pacquiao is not. He's not as strong as Shane, where he could just strong arm Margarito the way Shane did. Shane beat him with speed and strength. Like he basically bullied him. And Pacquiao can't do that. He can't do that. Yeah, he Bernard him, really. Shane did like a Bernard Hopkins type of style against Margarito.
Yeah, you know, it's for me, you know, I would say that there's something telling in both of those Cotto fights. You know.
Cotto was yo, man, I didn't realize how much Cotto was piecing Margarito up.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say, man. He get hit too much. He got hit so much in that fight, and if anybody sit here and gonna tell me once, BJ, I asked you before, you know, who hits harder, Cotto or Pac-Man? You said Pac-Man, right?
No, I said Cotto.
Okay, but we know that we just agreed that those punches you don't see are always the ones that kind of hurt a little bit more. You know, is that correct?
Yeah.
Imagine, man. Imagine. You ever get hit with like a kickball and not even see the ball coming?